Everywhere we go, thanks to Mr. Delaney calling out my daughter and her identity, people are either on one side of the fence or the other. I'm Susan Prout. I am the mother of a survivor of sexual assault in high school, of Chessy Prout.
Chessy Prout went public in 2016 about being sexually assaulted by Owen Labrie as part of a tradition at the St. Paul's school called the Senior Salute. Labrie was convicted, and Delaney represented the school.
Our daughter's case happened 9 years ago, and it has been reprised for us with the nomination of the attorney who defended her school, St. Paul's School in Concord, New Hampshire, nominating him for judgeship.
Senators say Delaney was pushing to make Prout's identity public, which is not normally done in cases of sexual assault with minors.
It was pretty much established in our country that minor victims of sexual assault are granted anonymity in hearings and in lawsuits and trials. So what Delaney was just doing was a tactic that is in the playbook of most of the lawyers and institutions that are protecting entities like the Catholic Church, like the Boy Scouts, like universities and other schools that are harboring rape culture. He was just counting on the fact that outing a victim of sexual violence is considered to be taboo and one of the worst things, because there is a very real possibility of harassment and threats to follow. And she was a minor at the time of her assault, and she was a minor at the time of our civil suit against St. Paul's.
This was something that you were trying to stop, a right that she had that you were trying to foreclose.
And what we did in the case, Senator, is we provided Judge Barbadoro in New Hampshire with an order that had recently been issued by Judge Walton in the District of Columbia, where he had both allowed the sexual assault victim in the case to proceed anonymously, while he simultaneously placed restrictions on the lawyers from speaking about the case publicly.
This probably qualifies Delaney for being a great ambulance-chasing lawyer for institutions that are trying to hide their abuse. And he was dialing for dollars after the criminal trial with the school in terms of drumming up new business. But I think this clearly disqualifies him for the Federal Court of Appeals.
Why did you take the actions that you took?
In the criminal trial, to get to the question regarding the witness involvement, Senator, the school was not a party to that criminal trial.
So you were explaining this to the student?
No, I didn't meet with the students, Senator.
Okay.
I did not even
You were
know.
observed meeting with the students in a side room.
I think he was depending upon the fact that the senators who are very busy would not be fully invested or care about this topic enough to come prepared with questions.
I'm not aware of any courtroom in America where a child victim, whether still a minor at the time of the trial proceedings or not, where the victim wouldn't be allowed freely to choose to protect her anonymity.
Her family's sitting here today. They've already been through hell. Your motion was an attempt to put them through further hell in order to defend your client, right?
Thank goodness there were some senators who had done their homework and had felt the ire on this topic enough to care and research and call him to account.
You asked the court, strip her anonymity. And you just told Senator Cornyn, I didn't ask the court to strip her anonymity. Why did you give a false answer to Senator Cornyn?
I just wish the Democrats were present at the hearing so we could see sort of face to face.
The Me Too movement, which is so critical to supporting women who have suffered this kind of trauma, that this not be swept under the rugs.
Perhaps you could explain why, on the one hand, it is important to protect the name of a minor in cases like this, and what the countervailing arguments are for how you proceeded.
I was very disappointed by Senator Hirono, who also has been publicly on the record as being a supporter of victims and giving a very monotone sort of questioning to Delaney, and then stating her public support for this candidate after what I think anyone would term would be a very poor showing at the hearing.
We are solidly non-political, apolitical, caring about our children.
But we've always wondered, where do people like a John Kerry, a Bob Mueller, a Sheldon Whitehouse, where do they stand in terms of the headlines about the school being sort of a place where rape culture has thrived? This is a time to do the courageous thing and withdraw this nomination. I also have a message for Mr. Delaney. Mr. Delaney, you do not deserve to be in this position. You've chosen the path that you wanted to take, to make money off of survivors of sexual assault and defend these institutions. So if you would do the right thing, you would withdraw yourself as a candidate.